All right, what's up, everybody? I know it's 8 o'clock. I know it's Sunday. Everybody winding down. They're getting ready for bed. And y'all probably, most of y'all probably getting ready to watch Power. Or if you haven't already watched it, I've been thinking about making this video for about a week now, and me and Maine have definitely had conversations. But we wanted to touch on this to kind of start y'all week off right, just to clear y'all heads, and hopefully it's gonna be some people out there who really have been consumed with this bull. Oh, I had to do a Kwame Brown. I almost said something. Ain't been 2 minutes. The BS, but we want to put some clarity to exactly what's going on. So this ain't the normal show, but y'all know me. I'm Fool,
and I'm Main One,
and we definitely want to come on and speak on this because it's real. Anybody that's watching, please put in the comments the city and state where you are, that we could possibly link up with a like-minded individual in your location. And if anybody wants to come on camera to speak their piece, whether you agree with us or disagree with us, feel free. We'll send you the link. 2 years ago, people were hoodwinked and bamboozled, straight up and down. You were definitely forced to stay in the house. During that time, a lot of people who stayed in the house, they got their shit together. It was time for them to sit down, absorb what was going on. People started working out, this, that, whatever. And it was for some people, it was a good time. But unfortunately, you were stuck. People decided to be stuck in the house, and all they did was watch the news. And they kept beating you down with the BS. And unfortunately, you fell for it. You fell for it to the point where people are walking around like this still all day long. There's families out there who are fighting against each other. You don't want to see each other. You don't even want to hug each other no more. And you decided to go put something in your body that now they're coming out and saying natural immunity is actually better. So you fell for it, and now since their plan didn't work like they wanted to, they shifted the narrative to Ukraine. And so many of you are falling for this, to the point where you're talking about send out prayers for Ukraine. Some of y'all won't even send out prayers for your family. But with me making that statement, based on you sending out prayers to Ukraine, do you even know what's going on? And I'm going to defer to Maine about that. I'm making that statement about, do you actually know what's going on, and you want to fall for this narrative about sending out prayers?
Yeah. Well, I hate to be the one I hate to be that guy to say I told you so, but we told you so, and a lot of other people told you so. We told you to stand firm on your beliefs, and this shit would kind of fall by the wayside. A lot of us have stood by our beliefs, and we've watched the foundation of this narrative just get knocked down brick by brick. And we said they were going to pivot to something else, and like per normal, they pivot to something else. They pivoted to Ukraine. And I kind of touched on this on the last show that a lot of people are, just taking up these mainstream media talking points. Save Ukraine, pray for Ukraine. You got celebrities out here talking about something, they're going to take up money and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, while y'all saying pray for Ukraine, you got all this crap that's going over here in our own country. We got homelessness all over the fucking place, in major cities, in not major cities. And I just don't understand how people can be so cavalier to just be like, oh, well, fuck America, and let's just pray for somebody else. But the outrage is not like that across the board. So what makes you, because mainstream media puts it out, that the propaganda is so good that they can tell you who to be sad for and who to pray for, and y'all do it. Something happened, pray for Italy, pray for Spain, anywhere across the board. If they tell you to do it, you do it, and that's the problem.
I'm actually, you know what? I'm actually glad you said that, because if I hurt some people's feelings when I make this comment, it is what it is. But I want you to just live in this reality. So many people walk around like this. Now, I'm starting to see more people not walk around like this. But I still see people that do. If you are so gung-ho about listening to what they tell you is safe and what you should do, why are you still walking around with it on your face? You don't trust what they're saying? Are you taking extra precautions? How can you do that if they told you to do it in the first place, but now they're telling you not to? Which one is it? You can't have your cake and eat it too. Which one is it? Because if you sit there and say, I want to do it because it's extra precaution, but they're telling you you don't need it because everything is good, everything on blew over now, everything is, you don't have to worry about it no more. Why are you still doing it? Because it's showing you never trusted them from the first place. Which one is it? And people not having that type of conversation. What I would say to you is, there's one very important thing that everybody needs. Every single person's body needs. That's oxygen to your brain. And if you have children walking around like this, you are depriving them of getting oxygen to their brain. Plain and simple. This is a scientific fact. So why are you doing it? Because if it was so effective, people still wouldn't be getting sick. But we all know, naturally, as humans, we're going to get sick. Period. You can't get around that. And what we've noticed is this was about confusing you, because now you don't know what to do. You have no idea what to do. Matter of fact, you said you can't pull up pictures. It has to be a video.
Yeah, it has to be a video. Well, I mean, I can share my screen. I mean, it can be a picture, and I can share my screen.
You think we should possibly share that screen of that picture that we thinking about putting on a T-shirt, the one with the robot, unplugged. See if you can share that screen, because this will put it into perspective for everybody out there about what we mean. Now, why he's working on doing that? A lot of you people out there are parents. With you being parents, you control what goes on in your household, and a lot of people will say, ain't nobody gonna tell me how to raise my child. But you out here having your children walk around with this when only because you were told to do so. So was that your decision, or was it a decision you made based on what somebody else told you to do? It's supposed to be about free will. It's supposed to be about you thinking for yourself and things like that. And what this has shown everybody is they have a particular power and control over a certain amount of people. It damn sure ain't me. It damn sure ain't Maine. And it's a lot of people out there that rejected what is going on. That to me is beyond important. So it's not about going against the grain. It's about realizing what's right and what's wrong and what actually makes sense. But if you can't see it right in front of your face, that there was a narrative from the beginning and now it's been shifted, it's honestly and truly something wrong. And that to me is where things get scary, because there's more important things that we need to be worried about than what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. And for a lot of y'all out there, if y'all believe that the gas prices are going up because of Ukraine and Russia, you a new fool. And I'm not afraid to say that shit. I just had somebody earlier say to me that the president can't control gas prices. That's the oil companies. What? Where do you get that from? We both know we're not a fan of either of the past two candidates that were out there. But the one thing we can say is the past president, he opened up the refineries over here in the United States to keep gas prices low. So for anybody out there, that's one thing you can't complain about. But right now, once Slow Biden took office, gas prices went up, we have record inflation, and we have food shortages. The fact that y'all can bypass that and say, well, y'all cool with that because we ain't got to worry about the person who was in office before, and you okay with that, that is a major, major problem. That's a sickness right there. That's sad. You don't figured it out. You over there working.
Yeah.
So
it don't take long.
He get ready to. I want every. Can you do it?
Yeah, just go ahead and pull it into the stream.
Okay. For everybody out there, matter of fact, this is perfect because I can make it bigger. Oh no, I can't. You can make it bigger.
Nah, that's the biggest it's gonna get.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you can see it, but at the top, you got a person's head, and you got CNN, Twitter, and I think that's MSNBC. Basically, all the media companies. They go into the back of the person's brain. They pull out the CoCo, and they implant Ukraine. And now the outrage is still the same. All they did was change the chip that they put in your head. That's what we're dealing with. And the crazy thing about it is the prices of things are going through the roof. If y'all not paying attention to this shit, forget gas. A bag of Doritos at the supermarket like $6. Word? Y'all not paying attention to this. And they doing it real smooth. So if you're not thinking about, even with the gas prices, if I'm not mistaken, Maine has said something about somebody has said that he was getting ready to open up the refineries again. Why the fuck you close them in the first place, motherfucker? What you do that shit for? And I don't think that was Jay that was saying it. That shit ain't gonna happen. He ain't doing that shit.
Yeah, I mean, this shit is way bigger than a lot of people, and I'll push back a little bit because a lot of people say this don't have nothing to do with America and all this kind of stuff, but I think it does, because it shows how corrupt our government is, and a lot of people for some reason just don't believe that our government is corrupt. Either they don't want to believe it, or they just blind to the fact and just blindly loyal to these motherfuckers. But they have proven why are you loyal to motherfuckers who ain't loyal to you? I don't understand that. I'm only loyal to people who loyal to me.
Fam, that's the part. Like
the government will never do that. Oh no, the government don't. I'm like, what? I'm like, where y'all live at, bro?
Did they forget that the government is on record for saying they killed Dr. King? They on record for saying that shit. Y'all trust them? For real? With your health? No problem. Y'all, this shit is crazy. If you can, kill up the video with the little kid.
With the little kid. All right.
Yeah. Now, a lot of y'all are so quick to believe what you see on TV, whether it's over here, whether it's over in Ukraine and Russia and everything like that. Remember, political theater. Remember, predictive programming and all of that shit. Now, right now, it says there's 9 people watching. Once again, before we bring this video up to play, if you're watching right now and you're live, share this video, tag some people, but most importantly, put the city and state where you live in the comments. That's majorly important. Make sure you do that, because we have to make sure that people are communicating with each other, because at any given moment they may shut down the grid and you're not gonna be able to communicate with people through social media anymore. Did you see the comment about you see the you know what? Let me go ahead and put that up there. Y'all see that?
That's can't say I could have said it no better myself.
Let me see. I wanna put something up there in the comments for everybody. Make sure y'all go subscribe. And okay, let's put that in the comments. Now, For everybody out there, I want y'all to pay very, very close to this video. We want to preface it by saying no children were harmed during the making of this video.
Thanks.
Pay very close attention. Now, watching this, you would say to yourself, man, who would let their child do that? That's not even fair. But once you see the real thing, now what y'all think? How easy is it to fool people? I want y'all to pay attention again. Look at it. When you start talking about video editing and everything like that, it's not that hard.
No, it's not.
You really would think that little kid is just bold as fuck, and their parents are negligent until you see that right there.
Wow.
We definitely gonna play this on another show, but we wanted to get anybody who jumped on. We wanted to give y'all the heads up with that right there. If they can, if somebody at home could do something like that, what y'all think that the government is able to do? Come on now. We go out here and we watch movies, and it's to the point we think that we're not gonna say we think that shit is real. But you know what? I'm gonna give y'all a great example. Anybody that watched the Avengers, do you realize the reason why they did such great acting is because 90% of the movie was on green screen? They weren't on location. That shit was a fucking green screen. They fighting and shit with dots on them and everything like that. This shit is crazy, yo. And people actually believe this shit. We're not saying you have to believe what we say, what we're saying right now. We're saying question it, because y'all just rolling with the shit, and that's where it gets scary.
Blind loyalty.
Fam, this shit is crazy, yo. You can't be this gullible. You cannot be this gullible. The right is on the wall. Go ahead, my man.
I mean, but for most people, it's easier to do that. It's easier to have blind loyalty than to search for your own answers and create your own narrative. Most people want to just be handed some shit, so they'll get handed all the information they want, even though it's misinformation. They'll get handed that and they'll run with it because it's easier to do that than to go find it yourself. And when you find it yourself, that makes you responsible for what you do with that information. But do you just hold it in, or do you share it? Do you spread it?
And how many people out there? We're not talking about our followers and things like that. We talk about more so the people who you're communicating with. How many of you have had conversations with people about what's going on, and all they can do is regurgitate what they see on TV? Absolutely no independent thought. It's dangerous.
Who told you Russia was bad?
Who told you Ukraine was good?
Who told you Putin was bad? I'm not saying he ain't bad, but I'm just saying, did you do any research on Putin? Did you do any research on Donald Trump? Any research on Biden? If you did any research on Biden and you voted for him, then I don't understand. I don't understand. It's just beyond me.
And trust and believe, everybody. I have evolved within the past 2-3 years, and I can credit Jermaine with that, because he would say certain things, and then when he would say it, I wouldn't just brush that shit off. I'd be like, wait a minute, that make all the sense in the world. That's why for me, when it came to this past election, I was like, neither one of these people can get my vote, and I had my reasons. I wasn't about the lesser of two evils and all. I wasn't doing that shit, because they two heads of the same goddamn snake. Believe it or not, it's more than two heads. It's way more than two heads. So What are y'all going to do about that shit? When are you going to sit down, evaluate what's being put forth in front of you, and make a decision based on what you think and not what they're putting out to you? That's where the shit gets dangerous. That's where we want everybody to just think and say, sit back and relax and say, wait a minute, that's not right. Your intuition and your gut got to be telling you something. It has to be. And then once that happens, that's where logic starts to come in at. Because at this point, the fact that mainstream, I want y'all to really think about this. This was supposed to be something that was so deadly around the entire world. How they just stopped talking about it. Stopped. We're talking about they did a halt on that shit to shift to a fucking war that we have absolutely nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. If I'm not mistaken, Jermaine can kind of he can say if I'm right or wrong. When you start talking about Ukraine and Russia, neither one of them are involved in NATO. If neither one of them are involved in NATO, we ain't supposed to get involved. That's out of our hands. We damn all that shit. Sanctions, all this other shit, that has nothing to do with us. Now, if Ukraine was down with NATO, that's when you should possibly be doing the shit. Or am I wrong by saying that?
Well, I mean, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong by saying it, but it's just I had a conversation with a couple of people earlier today, and the Cold War never ended. When the Soviet Union fell in 89, 90, when all that shit happened, the so-called the United States kept the Cold War going by expanding NATO. They made an agreement with Russia not to expand NATO. They've been expanding NATO ever since then. And expanding NATO means when you join NATO, that means you're what's the word I'm looking for? You have to buy arms from the United States. So basically, the United States is an arms dealer. So they're expanding NATO to all these surrounding countries around Russia, trying to surround Russia. So you're arming all these people around Russia. Like the scenario I was given on the show, when you're giving weapons to these people and expecting Russia not to think that that's a threat, but you continually keep doing it. It's like I explained to this to somebody who was talking the other day. It's like, all right, what if it's you and your man or your significant other is going somewhere or whatever, and you got this chick or a guy, he keep pressing your girl, he keep pressing her. She done told, yo, I got a man. You done told her, I got a man. He's like, man, fuck your man. I'm gonna keep DMing you. I'm gonna keep trying to press on you. What you expect me to do as a man? What am I gonna do? I see that as a threat. That's a small sample size of what's going on, but that's basically what's going on. They egging Russia on because Russia is their biggest competition.
And notice how. No, my bad. Go ahead. My bad.
No, and a lot of people don't understand. 40% of the natural gas in Europe comes from Russia. 40%. So they got a big stranglehold on Russia. I mean, on Europe, as far as what natural gas comes from.
Now, and for everybody out there, we know that the United States military is all, is number one in the world. Number two is Russia. Now, I want y'all to be clear about what I'm getting ready to say. If number two is Russia and they got this beef with Ukraine, you don't think they can do whatever the hell they want, whenever they want? Come on now. Stop it. Stop it.
Yep.
There's no way that what they're saying is happening if it's that serious. Because if it was, Ukraine would have had quote unquote fallen, because Russia can do whatever the hell they want when they want. Go ahead.
Ukraine is basically being used. They're being used as a pawn in this little war that the United States seems to have to want with Russia.
And to take what he just said a step further, everybody, what y'all have to understand is this: when it comes to the days of war, the way you think it is, it's not that anymore. It's no longer troops on the ground like you think with all these guns and everything like that. Now it's going to be about information wars, and it's going to be about chemical warfare wars. So that's where you have to really understand what's going on. And Think about over here in the United States. I use my hometown, my home state as a particular location. The grid in New Jersey is all the way fucked up. I'll talk about that shit is bad. So if motherfuckers decide to hit a switch or whatever, as far as something like that, New Jersey is fucked up. What's right next to New Jersey? New York. Y'all got to think about certain shit like this.
Yo, so pull that into the screen. So I posted this earlier. So we shifted from all these pharmaceutical companies making money to now you got all these weapons companies that's stock just all of a sudden magically start rising because of just the sound, just the word or the threat of war. Look, and this is just four of these weapons companies that sell arms for the United States.
And y'all go ahead.
And then you got some of these former CEOs and former board members inside the government of these companies. So look at the conflict of interest you got there. So man, I mean, it's just corruption all across the fucking damn board with this shit.
And what we want from everybody is this. This ain't about doing the show. We just want to come on and pretty much speak on this, get some people's opinions or whatever. And if you agree with anything that we said, share this video. Anything. If you agree with anything that we said. If you disagree with anything that we said, share the video and make sure you put why you disagree. But the main thing is we want to hear from all of y'all. That's where this shit becomes important because we have to make sure as a collective, we're putting out the real narrative. We have to put out the fact that more people are against what's going on than they might lead you on to believe. That's where the bullshit comes in at. And I don't know about a bunch of y'all. I was born at night, but I was not born last motherfucking night. And for a lot of y'all, it's the same thing. They always talk about, a woman's intuition is so powerful. We all have intuition, all of us. And one thing about it is, if it quack like a duck and walk like a duck, it's a goddamn duck. They want you to believe that shit is a fucking dinosaur. No. It's not going down like that. I don't know what Tia posted, but Tia, we thank you. Terrence, all of y'all. We thank all of y'all for tuning in. Like I said, we know it's Sunday night. We can ready to go ahead and sign off. I got to get me something to eat, and I got to clean my golf clubs. I got a golf tournament tomorrow, so I got to be ready.
Terrence is my homie here in South Carolina.
Oh well, Terrence, my man, we appreciate the support. Tell your friends or whatever. Get them all on YouTube and Rumble. Spread the word. We thank you, everybody, all of y'all, because at this point. Once we keep saying this shit, we all we got, yo. We are literally, we all we got. We don't need to have no goddamn leader. No disrespect to any quote unquote leader that we had. Because to be honest with you, most of them, they didn't want to be leaders. All they were doing, they was just fucking truth seekers. And then once they started showing leadership qualities, what happened? Once they started going against the narrative, what happened? That's why we have to make sure it's so many of us ain't shit they could do. Plain and simple. But to be honest with you, it's not even about getting everybody together. It's just about us living in harmony and living our lives and removing ourselves from this fucked up ass system. That's the main thing. So my advice to everybody is learn how to grow your own food. Fuck it. If your ass got to grow 3 goddamn vegetables and that's all you're going to be able to eat, guess what? At least you're going to be able to eat. Because it's getting to the point now, motherfuckers not going to be able to eat.
Yep.
I'm watching people in the super. It was a girl today and her mother, and they was buying motherfucking fruit snacks. And they was like, the daughter was like, I like those, but he likes these, it's that, whatever. I'm like, what the fuck you gonna do? You ain't gonna be able to come in here and get no goddamn fruit snacks. Better eliminate that shit from your vocabulary because
don't tell them nothing.
So you better get a motherfucking apple. That's a fruit snack. Shit, that's the way the shit need to be. So For everybody out there, we thank you. Like I said, this is something impromptu and everything like that. But please, y'all, turn off the fucking TV.
Yes.
I'm begging you. Turn off the TV. Stop feeding into this bullshit and completely unplug yourself from the goddamn system. From social media, choose one day not to be on social media and don't watch the news for 2 weeks. I guarantee you're gonna feel like a different person. And if you anywhere down south, the weather's breaking,
get your ass outside. Get some
take
sun.
your ass outside, take your sneakers off, take your socks off, walk in the grass barefoot. Now, mind you, I'm not saying walk in the grass if your grass is treated with some goddamn chemicals. That's stupidity. We're not saying that. Find yourself a park where you can go walk. You're gonna get energy from the sun and the earth. That's some powerful shit. And man, I'll tell you this before we get off. You said you watched the Ground in the Earth video, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you remember the part where they said the Native Americans or somebody like that used to they buried the little girl who was real sick or whatever, and then they buried her in the ground, like under the dirt and everything. Then when she came up, she was good.
Yeah.
The chick who leads that clubhouse room that I was telling you about, she said she did that in Tallahassee, Florida. And she said when she did it, it was like you could feel the roots, like through your feet, that type of shit. Mm-hmm. And she said it was fucking up because she was like, I'm not in control. So once the person kind of calmed her down, she said she was in the ground for 3 hours. And said when she came out of that shit, she felt like she was high. Damn. That's some crazy. Because what that shit made me think about was the movie Wanted with the curve and bullet when they was putting them in the wax.
Yeah.
Once they came out, they was good.
Yeah.
Same type of shit, yo. So I know something like that. It depends on where what the type of land you are, if it's mineral rich and things like that, and the location. So I would think you want to do it on a sacred kind of ground, things like that. But it's something to look into. When I find the information, I'll let y'all know in case you want to do it. For anybody who probably got chronic pain, you probably want to go do that shit. So we appreciate y'all. Let me go find me something to eat, clean these motherfucking golf clubs, so I ain't going out there looking like my shit all dirty and shit. And we appreciate y'all, yo.
Yeah, we'll see y'all Wednesday.
All right, y'all.